Welcome, Wargamers. Join your hosts, Bonko and Monte, two Canadian wargaming enthusiasts, as we explore all aspects of tabletop wargaming. We roll dice, talk tactics, share hobby hacks, and explore new tabletop systems, all on the Trident Wargaming Podcast. Alrighty, and we are back with episode 2, some Traitor Titans and terrain.
Yay! Hope everybody's doing well.
I know I am.
Excellent.
I know I am. So,
yeah, so am I.
Kicking things off, hobby progress.
Hobby progress.
Yep.
Well. Same old, working on the scars. A little bit of a setback though.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've just been doing a lot of designs on the actual bikes themselves. The jet bikes, a lot of the red days. You guys, if you're following us, you might see a whole bunch of posts that I put out there with my little designs. My whole goal was every bike was supposed to be different. And
you look awesome, by the way.
Thanks. It's a lot of work because they tend to go into like a cocoon tape. A lot of work, takes time. It takes me about an hour and a half, 2 hours to fully get it cocooned. But first time this has happened, I was actually making designs, and I had to adjust some designs, and I had to cut through the tape when it was actually on the model.
Ooh.
And I think it pierced through the sealant cover, the coat that I do on my white. And
yeah, because you're varnishing, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like the white that I use, it's the mission model white that we have here. One of the companies here in the city sells it. Great white, but you need to varnish it before you apply any other colors on it because it starts to like blend. So I ended up cutting into the tape and pretty much like scored the undercoat. And when I peeled away the tape, it actually peeled it right to the primer.
Oh.
And like literally plastic or resin. You can see right through. So I got a couple things I got to repair now. So that's kind of, that was a first. So tip of the day, after each layer, try to seal everything. And if you are doing cuts, maybe do it off the model first.
No doubt.
So, luckily it's the Sakaran. It's an easy fix. I sanded stuff down and tried to make the layers blend for the repair job. And then the one bike, and of course it's like one of my favorite designs. And I gotta touch that guy up. So luckily it was just the two. Other than that, even Kasheg are still in progress, and still got a couple of Tardos Terminators, Marines, Land Raider, Speeders.
Oh my! Got quite the docket there, my friend.
Yeah, it's still a haul, and then there's still my custom basing that I do as well, right? So, but luckily enough, I believe 1 or 2 evenings I should have the bikes done and ready for my big old AK wash.
I was gonna say that sweet AK.
Yeah, it's helped a lot with this army, so I made it pretty quick. Just go from there and just keep plugging away and just try to hammer down, really.
Yeah.
So any of the friends listening, if you don't see me online, because my head's like dug deep into my workbench and I'm just going hard. So.
Yeah. It's that. It's always that big, painting blitz before events and stuff. Mm-hmm. I remember on a few occasions, way off topic, but painting, a friend's army till 1:30, 2 in the morning.
Black Templar dead.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome.
Yeah, you were painting and I was doing the decals.
Yep.
So
just had to make it, because let's be real, when you're going to an event, you want to make sure all the boys can go. You want to make sure you roll out as a team. So that's a big thing. That's a big thing.
Sure, makes it for a good time.
It does.
Yep. And yourself, Phil? What do you have on the docket?
Well, I am still pushing frantically as well. I am treading water. Treading water. I have 5 more Marines to do the cutting in of gold trim on my tactical horde here. And, yeah, I still got my Tyrant Siege Terminators, but they're done with the gold. I've still got my Speeders and the... what are they again? The Sabers. They're all black and gold now. It's just been a grueling assembly line. I normally don't like to paint that way. I like to kind of break it up and finish one squad of 10 or one project at a time. But again, tourney time, it's go time. So really, it's just hammer down and paint as much as I can, and
it's still very easy.
Yeah,
very easy to get distracted.
That it is. So just remember, everyone out there, having the motivation to start is always good, but having the discipline to continue and get your stuff done is even better. So,
no, for sure, some wise words.
Wise words, yeah. Trust me, these are lessons I've learned. I've learned them the hard way. So,
we've both learned those lessons.
So, but yeah, it's just been pushing on that. A lot of painting. I did break out and build a set of paired Gatling blasters for a game this weekend on my Titanicus stuff.
That you did some fancy, shiny new toys that you slapped on top.
Yeah, it was naked resin while we played, but they were magnetized in my defense, and they were kind of fun. So
you'll start somewhere, right?
That's right. That's right.
I guess with this whole episode, really, I mean, it's Titanicus, right?
Yep.
And I guess the new book and some terrain. And so we kind of, we start off with, we had a game on the weekend.
Yes, sir.
So that was fun. It was 3-way, actually. Dan, unfortunately, he's not here with us today, but we'll have to get him on another episode. But yeah, he was kind of going through the motions of the game again, right? Because we only played it a few times, and Dan's and Dan's really gone hardcore, for Titanicus, right? So
I just want to add, he was also very patient, because we're both looking at each other, and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm trying to remember what I actually can do. I haven't played this game in 4 months, and I'm only on game 3. It's
No, for sure. No, just we've have so many other things going on, but we've definitely had, the eagle eye on Titanicus.
Yeah.
And again, once our projects for LVO get finished, Titanicus is definitely probably, well, I should say definitely, probably I should just say definitely exactly. Definitely the first system we're tackling.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're tackling with full strides of warlords kicking down buildings and blasting each other with volcano cannons.
So true.
So
that's really all I want to do, you guys. Hyping it up. I was feeling it. I just want to get my Legio built and painted. I was digging Krytos. Like Andy said, we did get our game in this weekend. It was a 3-way game at 1750. It was the first time I actually ever played with stratagems.
Yeah.
So that was different, kind of cool. And we also played the mission objectives. So you basically shuffle 5 cards, you get to pick 2, and then based on that, you do your when you start doing your deployment, you pick the one card that you want, I guess, to achieve as your primary and secondary missions, which is kind of cool because everybody has their own thing in mind, I guess, their own objective in mind of what they're trying to achieve. So,
well, it's different from the other games, right?
Yeah,
and I like that because even though strictly or not strictly, but mainly played GW games and whatnot, it's usually you have a set of missions. They have pretty much details on the mission, on what you can score for victory points, or you're playing from like trying to get these objectives, on the cards or whatever, right? But it's nice that it's a random draw and it's different for both sides, or can be different. I mean, there's probably a good chance that you pick the same one. But it's cool that they do that, so it's completely random. And then when that random part comes, at least you have a choice between 2 of them.
Yeah.
Like you're saying. So I really like that. Like that's a pretty cool way. I know some of the other games that I've played, they have similar things to that, but you're actually like eliminating choices. So different ways for missions in new games is actually quite exciting because it's just, you've played those other missions from other games and it's just same kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So just a random factor. It's cool.
Yeah, definitely.
I like that. And then the stratagems, like there's a lot of them.
There's a ton, and I have to admit, like, okay, so playing, Traitor Legio, but busting out the stratagem I did anyways, it was greasy, but it was pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
It was that haywire bombardment, and basically I dropped a template. It's scattered in between 4 of Andy's warhounds, and you get to roll 2d6 and compare it to the scale, and if you beat their scale number, they end up taking a critical hit at a random location that bypasses voids. And it was pretty sweet. Like, I think I only scored 2 crits, but it was still awesome. I was like, oh, that's pretty sweet, man. Like, causing a reactor leak first thing, right? It's a little bit of a bump for early on. Well,
you're damaged, so I mean, like, you're already starting off underhanded because of that, right? And it's an interesting tactic just to deal with that early bit of damage. So I mean, that was just one option of what you were able to do, right? And how many points was that?
2
points. Yeah. See, and I took 2 of the stratagems, one pointer and the other one was 2 pointers. The one that I picked, like the number 1, pretty much allowed me to like use one of my Titans' range from another Titan.
Oh, okay.
Right, and vice versa. But then there's the drawback where if I take a critical hit on one of the sections, that they both suffer it. So, cool little abilities that you can play around with and really make your Legio, work with a nice synergy with some of these stratagems and whatnot too, right? And the second one pretty much allowed me to fire again in the combat phase.
Yep.
Which I'm sure we'll get to that later. But it was a pretty neat little thing, a pretty neat little tactic. And of course, there's a drawback to that one too, where you have to roll on the what is it? I think it's the reactor overload chart or table.
Oof.
So there's a pretty good chance that you can blow yourself up. But again, pretty cool. There's a lot of them to go through. Like, I just had a brief moment to kind of glance, and I just kind of, let's try this one.
Yeah.
So, and then of course each Legio has, I believe, they have their specific ones too, don't they?
Yeah, I think each have 2, or at least in the trader book they have 2.
Yeah.
So
yeah, lots of choices, lots of options. I mean, lots of Legios to kind of look at and see what fits your style of play, or maybe it's something outside of the box that you want to play, and you're just going to go at her. Dan really...
oh, man.
Dan really definitely showed us how crucial close combat can be as well.
Yeah, he did.
Because, I mean, he was playing Vulpa.
Yeah.
Right? So, a lot of bonus dice for attacking, and definitely surprised me in our match.
Oh, yeah. Well, he had some pretty cool stuff happening, right?
Yeah, so a lot of the stuff that he's picked, because, like, you know, so new at it, not exactly sure what is what's the name of some of these abilities that are used, but a lot of them stem from Vulpa, and also some of the cards they took, and he really like focused on the combination to pretty much extend his range for his charges. You know, he got extra attacks and pretty much got in there dirty. You know,
yeah.
Like, I was looking at his Titans, and I was like, wow, why are you taking, you know, 2 of those Inferno cannons, right? And I'm like,
double Inferno cannons on all his Warhounds, which was really, really nice. It did well for him. Yeah, it did well.
For sure did.
So, I know basically he was rocking out, what was it here? He was upgrading those Warhounds with the double Inferno cannons with Demonic Bile, which is basically another Flamer template attack when you get close.
Yeah.
Which is pretty legit. Some of them can do a lot of damage, but it's basically D3 Strength 5 Firestorm and Fusion traits, which was pretty nasty because he was like right up in my face, and I know I was getting hit with the fusion, which is getting the extra armor roll against me, so it was just did not feel good. I watched the Warhound just get disintegrated. It was kind of nasty, and a lot of his stuff has organic protrusions as well, which he's able to take a bunch of extra attacks. He's playing Vulpa, so he has a lot of things. It's just everything runs forward. You get extra damage and extra rolls from the mutations and from charging. Extra attack for every 3 inches he charges, and he's usually within 2 inches at this point, and he's just wiping your legs out. And
pretty much.
He can take you down pretty quick. So
yeah, it was interesting. I mean, he's obviously had a few games underneath his belt, and he's tried out some stuff, right? So it's cool because it's actually super cool because it's really new, it's refreshing, and like our heads are going to be stuck in these books, you know, making the best of our Legio, right? Like, I know I have, because I went with, you know, Legio Solaria, the Imperial Hunters, using the Warhounds and using the terrain plus my chameleon shrouding, I can really add some negatives to my opponent, right? So, and then firing with longer range weaponry, just try to knock out the shields and then let the big boys come in and do some damage, right? Mind you, you know, I found out the hard way how hard hitting Vulpa can be, as I lost my warlord, my Princeps, to Dan's Reaver with the double freaking chain fist arms there. So it's interesting tactics. It's interesting gameplay. Like the charging is kind of blew my mind as well. Right? It's not so much if you can see or whatever the target. It's like if you have the maneuverability
You can do it, yeah.
and the range, you can do it, which makes it for an interesting game of tactics and like maneuverability of your whole army, right? And like even so the stratagem, I think it was weapons to full, I think is what I took. And then also having the personal trait of agile minded, in turn I could technically fire my Princeps 3 times in a round,
which is crazy.
Now there's a chance that, yes, with the stratagem, there's a chance that I can probably critically blow my Titan up. But it's just little things like that, right? Like little, I guess, tactics and little combos that you can make that can make things pretty devastating.
Oh, yeah.
So, which is cool. And the other cool thing about it this time around, like playing, there was a lot more destruction than we initially played, right? Like, I lost my whole force. And I thought I was in a good place, and then Dan changed that. So,
yep. Oh, yeah. It was not... It was brutal. To just kind of touch base again, I found the upgrade. Dan was taking disruption emitters on all his guys,
right?
Which gives him +2 strength in melee as well, which definitely contributes to him being able to run in and do so much damage.
Yeah.
So
because he was getting like strength 8 or something like that.
Yeah,
on his charge, and then
because he counts the scale as 2 higher as well for his smash attacks. So he's just a beast.
And then he had like, I don't know how many attacks, but it was just like a handful of dice. And I was like, okay, this is gonna hurt.
Yeah,
this is gonna hurt.
Cool.
But
so I know,
but very fun though.
Definitely. Oh, it was. I kind of got a little bit of a taste of Legio Krytos. I decided to take an Axiom Maniple, and I was able to drop the Reaver for another Warlord. And
that's right.
Boy, oh boy, it was pretty legit. I was enjoying myself. 2 Warlords and 2 Warhounds was a pretty tasty treat. I won't lie.
I wasn't sure what you were doing in the corner.
I castled up.
I know you were trying to like blast at guys, but I wasn't sure just because of like how the Titans were lined up.
Yeah.
But once I kind of was like demolished on my side and kind of looked over and I was like, oh, Dan doesn't have any Titans in the front line anymore. Okay.
No.
Bill took care of them, and then you, of course, opened up on my rears and stuff because of the having to pull back to deal with Dan's threat.
Yeah, it was. It was an interesting game. I basically got the objective where you have to kill just units. X amount of scale gives you 5, 10, 15 points. I later found out that they actually FAQ'd it, so some of those were different, but it was still pretty sweet. I basically got to castle up in a corner, and Andy and Dan did do a lot of damage to each other, and I was just pot-shotting targets of opportunity, so that part I liked. I didn't mind that at all.
Yeah, I was sending forces against you a bit there. I was going to send those Warhounds to start stripping some shields, but the left flank kind of was thinned out after the Warlord went down, and I was just like, oh boy.
Yeah, well, I can't let
him run amok, right?
No, he did hit pretty aggressively. That Reaver was his Princeps, and it definitely did a lot of work.
Yeah, it did. There was some fun key moments in the game itself.
Yeah.
We did get to see a lot of like rolls on the charts of what happens, and there was a lot of laid low kind of results. And one of my Warhound Titan slammed into one of his, and
Yeah.
After using my stratagem against his Reaver, after his Reaver killed my Warlord Titan that just literally sat there, like, it was probably the worst roll on the chart where just shut down, and that was it. Like, I was hoping for like a huge reactor explosion.
Yeah, something epic, right?
And then I used that stratagem on my Warhound, and it took a D10 roll on the chart there, catastrophic, and I got 10.
Of course.
After shooting into Dan's Princeps and like one critical point away from the head from taking him out, and then rolling on the chart and actually scoring a hit on the head again, and then taking him out, right? So I'd probably say that's like favorite moment of the game.
Yeah.
Because it was just like the last stand, firing away, just push it, get everything going, pistons going, weapons glowing, just ready to blow a hole in this massive Titan that's coming at you. And your reactor goes critical. And you take both, each other out pretty much.
Yeah.
Just boom. I couldn't imagine the explosions on that planet. You know what I mean? Like,
there was a
those
few
big war machines.
Yeah.
Jesus.
There was a ton.
But yeah, it was pretty cool. It was neat to see. There was we had different weaponry, all around. I know we were talking about it afterwards with the Warhounds. We kind of found them a little. They can't like stay in the fight too much.
No.
Like they're not. They got good weapons for like stripping shields and whatnot. It's just they can't take obviously too many hits, right? Which, yeah, they're scout titans or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, but it's definitely fun to play them with a pack. I know I was talking with Jason the other day there, and he was talking to me about combining like the shields if they're all touching together.
Oh yeah, running them as a squadron.
Yeah, so that's something that I will have to try down the road and see how it goes. But there's going to be a lot of like trial and error.
Oh, definitely.
Right. So and it's neat because it's just refreshing for that game again and playing it and learning it, and there's going to be some nasty combos. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah. Definitely.
And the sweet thing about this too is there is a huge hype for the game in our local community.
Yeah.
And a couple of the other guys, in the neighborhood and whatnot, that I foresee it getting picked up by even some other players, new players as well. And guys are just going to want to play.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah.
And that's cool, and I'm sure we'll probably get stuff going for that as well, for maybe events or whatever, right? So, and nice thing too is really, I mean, I had 5 Titans on the board,
yeah,
and not too bad to try to get them painted. I got. Earlier last year, I got 3 of them almost fully done, pretty much, like 97% done, minus the base kind of thing. So
yeah.
It'll be good. It'll be fun. So the terrain looked awesome on the board.
The terrain was pretty legit. Finally got a bunch of that stuff all glued together and going to start painting, which is always nice. Yeah, I've got a few different table worths of that stuff, but it's going to be great once I get it all painted up.
Nice. And I know we got some of the... Well, you got some of the terrain from a friend there that you met up with. I think, is it Cal Foxx?
Cal Foxx, yeah, that's his online name. I'll have a link for the terrain in the description. It's pretty legit. It's on his cult page. Cults 3D, and really, really good stuff. He ended up designing it all with floor tiles that you can glue the buildings onto, and then you can make like fortress walls. He has base toppers for all the different sizes. Really well done stuff, and I ended up getting a bunch of the buildings off of him, which are really, really legit. The plan is to paint them pretty soon. So,
there's also like interlocking streets and stuff too, right?
Yep, exactly. You can glue the buildings onto a 1x1 tile that has like an actual set for it, where it mounts and like kind of locks in. And then it's got streets and little side kind of wall panels going around the perimeter of it, and you can connect them to make like a massive city. And picking up this stuff, I got to check it out, and he has like a full 4x4 board, like of a city fight with all this stuff in the middle, and I was like, whoa, like it looks killer. Massive dome building in the middle, and then a bunch of skyscraper type terrain, and it just phenomenal. So definitely a goal to try and push in, but definitely worthwhile checking out. So definitely worthwhile.
And some of the Spire pieces that you had brought to the game there, like those are GW kits.
Yeah.
And they actually fit quite nicely on top of these too, right?
They do, yeah. He's got it all kind of measured out where you can throw those Games Workshop Spires on to the tops of these. They also come with their own style toppers, but there's a lot of variety with the kits. You can definitely stretch them out and get quite a lot of use out of them. So it's always nice to look forward to that.
We're gonna have to do some test runs, I think, on the printer.
Oh yeah.
Been doing so much BattleTech that might have to spruce it up with a little bit of more scenery for Titanicus down the road here. Which is cool.
Oh, for sure.
I especially considering you put all that work into it, and I'm sure they're quite optimized for printing. So.
Oh, they are. They are.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so the Traitor Legio book.
Yeah.
So it obviously came out.
It is. Like it's not super new to, a lot of you Titanicus diehards and active guys out there, but to us, it's new to me, okay? Got to start kind of digest. I pulled the plastic wrap off of it 2 days before we started playing. So,
see, I did that when I got my Loyalist book, like right off the bat, but I didn't actually open it until like 2 days later. So, just as guilty as Bill is.
Yeah.
But I haven't really looked at the Traitor book myself. I will have to, because it'd be nice to have a Loyalist and a Traitor Legio. I kind of like doing that myself, having both sides. And then kind of picking something that I figure is kind of unique to myself, right? Or that nobody's playing kind of thing, right? But regardless, I mean, both books are quite thick.
They are.
I gotta admit, the Titanicus books and the design and the artwork on the inside of these books are just beautiful. Like, I love the layout. I love the colors that they've used and stuff, and just the pictures. Like, they're really, really nice books. But there is lots of options.
It's honestly, it was a little overwhelming building, my mana pool 2 days before. I did manage to come up with some pretty good stuff. I was trying to be very tanky and have a lot of, longevity for the fight in terms of reactor output. So obviously running Corrupted Titan, and this is on my Princeps Warlord, but taking Chitinous Carapace, which is... It's too good not to. You basically -2 from the hit in the body or carapace weapon by an attack, you subtract 2 from the armor roll. You can't go power to locomotors, but stabilizers you still can, so it's a little bit of a give and take there, but well worth it. For my base mutation, I ended up taking Frozen Soul, which is really, really good, I found. Anyways, on a 3+, you can vent plasma, which is really nice, especially when you are trying to deal with, pushing your reactor quite a bit. I found it actually made quite a big difference, to be honest. It was just legit. Sorry, Frozen Soul lets you roll 2 additional repair dice for that, and then I took Gelid. What is it called? Gelid Aura. My bad, guys.
Okay.
And yeah, you vent plasma on a 3+, and it's pretty legit. All Titans within 6 inches of one or more of these Titans with the mutation can also vent. So I was kind of bubble wrapping them, which was a big thing. So it wasn't too bad. The rolling for damage afterwards, to make sure you don't take a critical hit on the legs, is kind of a little bit of a drawback, but it's not horrible. I ended up also taking what else? Prenatural regeneration, which allow it, and these are expensive, right? This one's 50 points alone, but during the damage control phase, a Titan with this mutation rolls 2 additional repair dice when making repair rolls. So this thing was getting, 6 repair dice plus 2 for my reactor specifically. It was pretty nice to roll all those dice to keep my Titan in the game, which did come into play quite a few times. I ended up buying also a piece of war gear, Singular Purpose, which allows me to pick my Awakened Entity table, which is basically the Machine Spirit table. And I ended up going with Wrathful, which the controlling player chooses one of the Titan's weapons that has not been disabled and attacks with it using Ballistic Skill and Weapon Skill 4+, following the standard combat sequence, which is pretty sweet. You pretty much get to shoot again if you lose control, which very Iron Warrior fluffy kind of feeling for me. I definitely like the way they played. Both of them were armed the same with those mutations and whatnot, but I found them quite good for what they did.
They're your style, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, just lots of firepower. I'm gonna have to go through a little bit more and try to really digest all the different options in the book, because there's a ton. Pages and pages of upgrades that you can take, and they really change your army.
Oh, for sure they do.
So,
and it's one of those things to get your head wrapped around, right?
Oh yeah,
you're definitely gonna find the ones you like and the ones you find really effective, and the ones you don't really care for.
Yeah, the ones you're like too expensive.
Well, that's just like, I was kind of looking at my Solaria stuff here, and like the chameleon line shrouding's really good, right? For that minus, but you just got to make sure you're distant, keep your distance in a sense, right?
Yeah,
and keep moving. As for the Fortis motivators, they're good if your legs are getting hit, but that's another 20 points. So like I skipped out on those this time, and I don't think any of my Titans actually got hit in the legs, so kind of paid off for me in a sense.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for their Fog of War stratagem, but I can see how it could be fairly effective, depending on who you're playing, what you're playing, where's the threat kind of thing, or you can use it as a ploy. really.
It's true.
So, but yeah, it'll be interesting to play around and play against different Legios to see what's what.
And there's
And
man,
and learn really.
Yeah.
Like it's a really good game. I really do like the rules. Obviously, have to definitely play more to get on par with everything. But other than that, like, I mean, I was already looking at other Legios that same day when I got knocked out, right? And I was just like, oh, these guys look cool, you know. But again, yeah, like there's probably equipment that suits my Legio really well. I just haven't seen it yet. So a nice thing too is these books are updated. I believe to some of the cards and stuff that we had. I think was it the stratagem cards?
Yeah, some of the stratagem ones. Like, basically, when Titanus came out, we went pretty hard, and we ended up buying everything like you needed. I got open war cards. I got, Traitor stratagem cards. I bought the Traitor dice. I ended up hating them, but yeah, like I bought everything because I didn't want to miss out. And I know sometimes how it is with the games is they flash in the pan, and then it's like, ugh, impossible trying to get some of that stuff again. And the next thing you know, it's sold out. Like, I had that happen with some of the Necromunda stuff, right?
Yeah, no, that's very true. And you also seen it with the decal sheets.
Yeah.
As well, right? Throughout the systems.
Yeah, it's true.
So
it is true. Overall, like, for a 3-way game, it wasn't bad. It was a lot of fun. No. I ended up taking out Dan's Warlord right at the end there. And it wasn't like a walk-away landslide victory or anything either. I had around the 30-something mark.
It was like 35.
35 or something. Yeah, it wasn't crazy, but it was enough, right, to kind of squeak me there. And like, even being tabled, like, Andy still had a decent score.
It was like, well, I think I had like 19.
Yeah.
But my mission was pretty much to keep you guys away from my table deployment.
Oh,
my edge.
Oh, that's not bad.
I would get 5 points for this range, another 5 points for this range, another 5 points for this range, another 5 points for this range, which I think was a max of like 36 inches. And then on top of that, I would get points for, depending on the scale of the mech, or the mech, I've got Battletech, see, of the Titan.
Yeah.
I get points for whatever scale they are that I destroy, but I actually only destroyed, I think it was 2 of Dan's Titans. So one of the Warhounds and one of the and his Reaver. So but yeah, it really only got me like 19 points. So the other, I can't remember my other objective, but it was kind of just, yeah, I'm not playing that. This one sounds easier. So and then Dan's objective, he literally had an objective on the board that he had to pretty much get to.
Yeah, deliver the cargo or pick up the cargo, and he had to get within 6 inches, I think, of the that central marker, and that was nasty. But like, I'll admit, Dan went pretty full force. Like, he went at both of us, and he still managed to do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So exactly. It's very cool to see how the game is played, because it's just, man, it went quick overall.
Yeah, the turns started to really pick up.
Yeah, those first 2, I won't lie, they were rough. I was just like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
I got Battletech floating through my brain. I got all these other systems, and it's just getting some nasty edition leg. It happens when you're older.
Happens. Well, it happens when you're playing a whole bunch of games.
Yeah,
too,
yeah, it does.
For the most, well, actually, probably like, I don't know, 98% of the time, we were pretty good.
Yeah.
Nothing really came out that was, no, that's not this game. That's a different game.
Yeah.
So like, again, just a recap of what does what. You kind of instantly can pick it up. So I mean, even if you were a new player but you've played other war games,
Yeah,
you
know.
can instantly pick it up. So
You'll know what to do.
Yeah, no,
just like
it's pretty fun. It's pretty good.
Just like riding a bike, my fellow Princeps.
Riding a bike.
Mm.
So, and I guess they do have Titanicus happening at LVO this year.
They do, and it was a tough call. I initially was gonna jump over to the Titanicus event with Dan, but it was only a 1-day event, and I was really banking on playing for 2 days, so I ended up sticking with the Heresy one. But I think next time it'll be a toss up between Bolt Action and Titanicus for sure. So
for sure,
definitely looking forward to seeing what happens in that in the event and how it is. Dan will definitely have lots to say about it. We are going to be doing a LVO debrief where we talk about the event, talk about models, how the different events were, and we'll definitely get the lowdown from Dan and chat with him about Titanicus and see what he figures. He's kind of right now the resident expert.
He's the senior princeps.
That's right.
Pretty much. The old lady of the the Titan. Oh wait, those are my guys.
Yeah, that's your Legio. He's just a champion of corn floating in a tube.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but
mutating into a demon.
Yeah, legit. So chaosy.
No, that's pretty good. It'll be a lot of fun for him, and I'm sure we'll have some fun too.
Yeah,
and of course, looking forward to February for more games.
Jumping in.
Right? Just, okay, let's get her going.
Yep. Friday.
That'll be a lot of fun.
Friday, I'm hoping to have a fair chunk of this Heresy stuff done so I can slowly start maybe building some Legio stuff.
Nice.
Before Vegas. Nice. So,
the hobby train keeps rolling.
It sure does. It really does. So it has no brakes.
I think, I know we've kind of hinted at this too. We used to always go play at our local, one of our local shops here, Comic Fever, here in Edmonton.
Yeah.
That was like our watering hole for years and years and years, and still is. Our good longtime friend Lee, he's been quite the host there for gaming, and he took partake in games as well at one point. But I think we're going to get that going again.
Yeah, it did feel good though, right? Like we haven't gone to play there for at least over a year.
Yeah,
it's been rough with everything going on, and just setting up. Shooting the shit with Lee and a couple of the guys, customers that roll in and playing games. It was fun. It definitely had a big impact on the social aspect of it. So
and going back to our roots, pretty much, right?
Oh yeah.
And that's where, that's where a lot of us have met and played and become really good friends for the gaming.
Yeah.
And some good tournaments and that's actually where we started Heresy.
It's true. I think, to be honest, it's where we started a lot of games.
Yeah, no, that's true. Warhammer, Heresy, 40K.
Yeah. Remember going through just tons of different systems and whatnot. So it's been it's been really good. It's good. It's been really.
But we can get that going, and I'm hoping, come February we'll probably have a little bit of an agenda for what we're working on, and
perhaps maybe another painting pledge / channel challenge or something.
Yeah,
something pretty sweet that way.
Definitely, and who knows? Maybe we'll open up and maybe get people into the Discord channel as well. And
it's true.
Because that was pretty good the other night there.
Oh yeah, that's, you know what? Yes, speaking of which, that reminded me of a couple things. We did get a killer paint session on the Discord chat here. We have a local gaming page, and did a little mini event to get a lot of peeps on, and actually worked out quite well. At one point, we had nine other fellow hobbyists, right, painting and hanging out, just talking about gaming and lore and anything under the sun, really.
Mm-hmm.
So that was very nice, and we even got jerseys done up collectively for the group, and I'm looking forward to busting those out, wearing them at local events and even events abroad. Get to represent your crew, and I think that's one of the best things about going to an event and you and your friends or the team or insert whatever here, when you're all wearing your jerseys and you look around that hall and you're seeing multiple people wearing the same shirt, right, the same icon as you guys, and it's like, yep, these are all my peeps, right? You can check and see, and you're always among friends, easy to spot them out. So especially in Vegas, you never know, you can get into trouble. So
no, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
Some good times ahead, and 2021 for hobby wise was pretty good for us, getting stuff accomplished. So 2022, I think it will just be better.
Oh, I think so.
So it'll be good. It'll be great.
Yeah,
I'm excited. I know you're excited. So
yeah, it's gonna be great. And as we keep going, we're gonna share like our journey. Once we start getting into the real meat potatoes and playing for a little bit, you'll definitely notice the conversation will ramp up. Like I said, like we're very fresh into the system right now, but we can digest and chew through the info pretty quick. So definitely keep listening and keep exploring with us, and share your early stories too. We definitely want to hear how some of the other people kind of got in, their favorite moments. Like,
yep.
I know that game, my favorite moment was honestly like shooting the leg out from Dan's Warlord. It took 2 separate turns because he was making mad repair rolls, but shooting that leg out, I was just like, oh, so good,
Nice. Yeah, it'll be great, and I want to see your Titans. I want to see your paint jobs. Like, share with us, and let's check your stuff out, because a lot of you guys have a lot of skill for painting, and it's always great to see stuff done up, and weathering techniques and all that stuff, right? So, it'll be great. It'll be fun. Share the journey together, and go from there.
Yep, definitely. Well, my fellow Princeps, keep your reactors cool, and we'll definitely have another Titanicus episode soon, with obviously more destruction, more glory, more corruption. Not for Andy, though.
Nope. Nope. Loyalist all the way.
Yeah. So, yeah, and we will catch you all next time on Trident Wargaming.
See you guys.
Trident Wargaming. Build it, paint it, play it.